Doamnelor și domnilor, un privilegiu pentru Antena 3 CNN să îl putem intervieva astăzi pe comandantul forțelor armate olandeze, generalul Onno Eichelheim. General, welcome to Antena 3 CNN Romania and thank you for this interview.
Well, thank you, and it's good to be here again with our Romanian friends. With my visit with General Vlad, which and we took about 2 days together to discuss a lot of topics, and we are close friends. So close friends within the alliance, but we know each other quite well from the military committee. So it was good to be here and discuss important topics.
General, we have a certain common mission that is called Eastern Sentry. And NATO has launched this operation in order to enforce all the posture against the Russia aggressive intentions. Here on eastern flank, we need more and more capabilities. And from Baltics to Poland to Romania and Bulgaria, we need the expertise and we need the capability that Western allies could bring here on eastern flank. What is your analysis and what is your message about Eastern Sentry?
Yeah, I think the good thing about Eastern Sentry is that it has more a defense and deterrence posture than we have had the earlier air policing missions, etc., etc. So I think NATO made the right move to show Russia that we don't accept violations in our airspace or any other incursions. So that's first. So I think that was a good move. But then you come to the practical elements of it. As the Netherlands, we provided capabilities, for instance, to Poland. We have our integrated air missile defense force there, counter-UAV assets, Patriots and NASAM systems to defend part of Poland, including the F-35s that are now just back. So nations are now implementing elements of Eastern Sentry, and Eastern Sentry should be a model of rotational capabilities from land, air and sea, which should be more firm than we have had in the past with the air policing. And I think NATO is doing now that strategy and that incursion, and you're right, and that inclusion, so you're right, and Western nations can then supply capabilities to the eastern flank. And to be honest, we have supported Romania and Bulgaria in the past already. And I can imagine that when the rotational model across the eastern flank is done, that more Western nations will show up also on the eastern flank, which is necessary, yeah.
Yes. One of the specifics of this Russian war of aggression is that they are using so much drones from Iranian origins. And many of the drones are passing the border of Ukraine or the Black Sea area, and they are entering NATO airspace. Romania had so many incidents about this, but we don't have enough capacity to get down those drones or to make this wall, anti-drone wall, that we are needing so much as fast as we can. What can you tell us about this effort of NATO countries, of Netherlands, in order to help here, Romania, to build this wall?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I think, first of all, we need time to build that wall because it will not be there overnight. What nations like the Netherlands do, and I will come to this area as well here in the Black Sea and in Romania itself, but in the Netherlands we also have problems with drones. Not the drones like the Shaheds that we see here. We had in September this year our F-35s over Poland who shut down the Shaheds that entered the territory of Poland. But so at least that shows that you have to be aggressive when you enter, when Russia enters that territory. But we have also in the Netherlands drone activity, which we have to defeat, and we increased a lot of capacity into the censoring, so radars and that sort of capacity, but also in counter-drone capacity. We can learn from Ukraine here. Ukraine has built its wall. It's not perfect, but there are there is technology out there, and there is a C2 system out there that we can incorporate within NATO. So learn from Ukraine, that's the first one. Then buy and develop continuously with industry the right systems, that's the second one. And then the third one is start cooperating within the alliance and where you think the most threat is there. And that's partly here, because eastern flank nations are the ones who should be protected first. And that's what I was discussing with General Vlaat as well. How can we learn from the experiences that we have in the Netherlands and the technology that we incorporate, and what Romania is doing, and can we develop a system that we can help each other out further, and see if we can come up with a system like Ukraine has developed. NATO is helping us there. They are building the C2 architecture, which should be able to have that eastern flank protected. Europe is working on regulations on industry, on funds, to make sure that nations can provide their capacity into that NATO C2 architecture. So that's the work that's being done at this moment, and that will help us, not per se today, but tomorrow, in defeating the drones that are having incursions in our airspace. But it is not an easy task. It will never be 100% perfect. So we have to be honest that there will be incursions, but as soon as we can, we should shoot them down as soon as possible.
Romania and Poland and other countries have those incidents, and we are scrambling F-16, also Dutch F-35 in Poland, but this is a very expensive solution.
It is.
So we need something cheaper and more effective about this.
Yeah, so that's why we are developing the other systems. And you're right, it is a too expensive way of defeating UAVs. So, and there are other possibilities. We have the counter-drone systems, counter-drone drone systems. We got EW systems. We got the shotguns and the other capabilities. So they are out there. But building the whole fence is actually taking time. But you're right, we should focus on cheap systems to defeat cheap capabilities like a Shahed instead of using F-35 or F-16. But before you are there, use the F-35s, use the F-16s, because they are still capable of doing this. And it shows also Russia that we don't accept this when it happens. But you're right, we have to change. And that's what we do in the Netherlands, and what we do, I think, across the alliance at this moment, to cheaper capabilities. Yep.
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte and other NATO leaders are mentioning that Russia is waging a hybrid war on NATO soil with drones, with cyber attacks, with sabotage, and many other examples that we are seeing. Do you think that NATO has the best reaction on this? Because there are some analysts saying that NATO is too reluctant to act. And the president of the military committee, Admiral Cavo-Dragone, said maybe we should think to act preemptive rather than expect to be attacked like we see right now from Russia.
I think first of all, we have to be aware that Russia will do this and will actually increase their efforts, undermining our societies and doing sabotage and finding ways to undermine elections. That's what they will continuously do. So what we have to do, not per se as NATO alone, but I think as Europe and as sovereign nations, is that we have to, as soon as we identify the fact that Russia is behind this, we have to respond to that. And I don't think we have to respond with force or with capabilities, but we have to respond verbally and really show Russia that this is not acceptable for us. And I think we can be more firm on that. We are not firm enough, so we can do sanctions or we can do other reactions on it. I'm not in favor of doing a military force, because that's, I think, in the hybrid domain not necessary. But we have to be very firm at the moment that we have identified the Russia behind this. And that is a lot of times that it happens. And we can increase that, I'm sure, yeah.
General, there are many forums and seminars and defense analysts analyzing what will happen if Russia will attack a NATO country. Because right now we see is a turmoil in terms of attitudes and decisions in NATO countries with different governments, different opinions, different decision makers. So from the perspective of a chief of defense from a NATO country, what will happen if Russia will attack one of our allies?
There's no doubt in my genes. Article 5 will be in place and the alliance will react. There's no doubt about it. For me as a CHOT. If I talk to my CHOT partners within the military committee or with General Vlad or with others, no doubt we will react as unified as we are. So I have no worries there. But I think we have to have in our heads that Russia is now not willing to do it, but within 18 or 24 months after a ceasefire in Ukraine, they will have the capability to do it. So we have to prepare ourselves against something like that. And we can better focus on that than having a discussion if there will be a NATO Article 5. But there is no doubt for me and for the Netherlands and for other nations that we will support any nation on the eastern flank as soon as they have an attack on their soil. Definitely.
From your perspective, what are the chances for peace in Ukraine? Because nobody wants peace more than a chief of defense like you.
That's true. Yeah, I've always said that war is horrible. So better avoid war and deter the enemy so there is no war. That's what we have to do. But the chances for peace, they are there. But they should be under the terms of Ukraine. And I think if you push Ukraine into a position that they have to sign an agreement under weakness, then that will be very, very bad for the European security. That will be very bad for nations like Romania or other frontline states, actually for the whole alliance. So I think we have to, first of all, stay behind Ukraine, support them continuously with all the capabilities that we have, material, training, and everything they need in money. But on the other hand, also as European nations, stand aside Ukraine and discuss how strong Ukraine can come out of the negotiations. So pushing Ukraine in a corner where they have to sign for something that they are too weak for the next step, because Russia will not follow the agreement. They have never done that. So somewhere in time, the next step of Russia will come, and we will have to make sure that Ukraine and we are then ready to deter Russia.
General, Netherlands is a strong military contributor and actor in Romania. Netherlands has donated 18 F-16 that we are using in the European F-16 Center in Fetești. Also, Netherlands is supporting this European Center of Training. You also have a detachment of MQ-9 Reaper in Câmpia Turzii. You are such a strong value for Romania's security. What are let's say, the next moves that the Netherlands wants to do from a military point of view in Romania and Eastern flank?
Well, we talked about Eastern Sentry, so we have to see what comes out of that and if there is a role for the Netherlands in this area. But I think the Black Sea is also an important element. We do a lot of work in the Baltic Sea, and I think you have to look at what you can do in the Baltic Sea to demine it in the near future, to keep it safe and secure, because now that's a responsibility in a way for Bulgaria, for Romania and for Turkey. But I think there can be more effort in that, in the demining capability anyway, but also in securing the Black Sea throughout the future. And like I said, I'm very much willing to work with General Vlad on the counter-UAS capabilities and see if we can combine our efforts on that domain as well. We will continue our training and our exercises here, and those are the steps that we have to do. We will continue with the MQ-9s in this area, and of course we will support the European F-16 training center, and we are now in the path to do also a maintenance training center there. So besides the operational side, we want to have a maintenance training center there also, to make sure that it's not only flying the aircraft but also maintaining in the near future, actually in the future as well. So those are the efforts and the lines that we are undertaking together with Romania. So we will be a strong supporter on this part of the eastern flank as well. Yeah.
General, the final question: how do you assess Romania's military capability? We are in NATO for 21 years,
yeah.
Not as long as Netherlands, but what is your assessment on Romania's capabilities and Romania's behavior into NATO?
Yeah, I'm impressed actually. I've seen. I was with General Vlad towards the training center, to the F-16 units and to the MQ-9 units and the air bases, and I'm impressed by the level of professionalism that Romania has achieved in actually a short time. Operating the F-16 for only 6 years, and then at that level, we would be having a hard time in the Netherlands if I look back when we introduced this aircraft. So what you see happening is that the professionalism and the material and the personnel is increasing very, very fast in their capabilities. There's a long way to go. That's also the truth. We have had, like in the Netherlands, like in Romania, we have had a lot of decreasing in our budget instead of increasing in our budget. So we have a long way to go in material, in personnel, and in training and exercising. So we will not be. We will need time together to do this, and that's why we have the alliance. That's the good thing about the alliance. So we can support each other from different positions at the moment that it is necessary. But the path is incredible that Romania is taking. So I'm very, for General Vlad, I'm very, very impressed by what you have achieved at this moment. Yeah.
General Leichenheim, thank you so much for this interview, for the visit in Romania, and we can hope for the better and for the peace in the future.
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.